We need to get off Hinge and we need to get off Tinder. Like, right now. Delete it from your phone and don't look back. All these horror stories that I've heard from guys that we've met saying that they use it for validation, attention. They just use it because it's a video game.
Literally, these are straight words from men's mouth. They literally just use it like once or twice a week just for the fun of it. Like, no one's actually using this legitly.
Like, you're just making yourself so available to these men. And like, of course, like our hearts are all like, oh, like, let's give them a chance and like we'll actually try and use this app for the right things. And they're just like playing us all. So delete.
It'd be the most toxic thing that has ever come out of my mouth, but I'm just gonna say it because I know for a fact that there are other women who are sharing this same sentiment as I am. So I'm gonna speak for all of us. My love life is so dry right now. In fact, my love life has been dry since September of 2024. So we're going on a year here. I am actually at a point where I think I'd rather be in a situationship. Yes, I said it. I think I would rather be in a situationship than be this single and bored. That is saying a lot because I feel like I have done all of the healing work that a person can do in their lifetime. I've done all the right things. I have chosen peace first above all else. I've spent time alone. I have learned to enjoy my time alone, and sometimes I enjoy it a little bit too much. But I don't know. At this rate, it's like, if I'm not at least gonna find someone to be in a committed relationship with, at least I can still get something out of a situationship. Like, at least I can still get some excitement over a situationship that isn't gonna last. Because at least when you're in a situationship, you have this idea that, okay, maybe things are gonna go further. You at least can picture a future with someone. You're living in a fantasy world, and I like living in that fantasy world, okay? That is a little bit more exciting than me sitting here and, quite honestly, every day just being like, is this what it's come to? And just questioning, like, will it ever be my turn? Is it ever gonna happen for me? I don't know. I'm just really tired of being in this place where there's like absolutely no one. And I've only been in 2 situationships in my entire life. Like, really, I've only been in 2, and they were the worst time of my life. Like, they ruined me. They made me sick. They made me like get to the worst place I've ever been in my life. But at least when I was in a situationship, I felt like there was hope. I felt like there was at least someone out there that could fulfill something within me. And that something is just that feeling of closeness that you simply cannot get with a platonic friendship or a platonic relationship. So that is where we're currently at. We are at the point where we would honestly prefer a situationship, just a little something that can bring us some excitement, something that we could get for the plot, to then just being so single to the point where it like literally seems impossible.
People that my fiance pays for all of our bills are like, oh my gosh, like I wish my man did that. I have to pay 50-50. Then I tell them that I do all the cooking, I do all the cleaning, I make his lunch, I do the laundry, I do the dishes, I do all the household stuff. They're like, oh, I would never cook for a man. And that's the problem. You can't have your fiance or your husband providing and then you not do anything to help him. You know what I'm saying? And then also, the girls are going to come in my comments talking about, oh, well, I'm never going to depend on a man. I want to have... That's great. That's just how we do it here. Look at your situation. You're also single.
I honestly and truly don't know what women want. They want the man to break his back. The type of man that they're looking for. They want a man to be working out there, constantly doing deals all day, every day. Little pockets of space where you can relax or do whatever and then go back to work. Essentially, they want a man that's able to work while on vacation. They're over there slobbering on the plane, sleeping while he's sitting there on his laptop, hunched over, still working and sending out emails. And they make a little post of him doing that. Oh, my boss, man, he's a boss. He's a big man. He's an alpha. Look what I got. Ladies don't settle. Click, pose. And then to sleep the whole entire flight. Then, oh, let's go to Starbucks. That's what they're looking for. They don't want to cook. They don't want to clean. They don't want to do nothing. God forbid this man is walking and he's sitting down in the seat working. You go get him a coffee. God forbid. He's got to go do all of that and continue to work. They think that men are slaves.
I have some bad news about the FOBC videos. Okay, those videos for some reason only reached men. and they were meant for the girls. Okay, they were meant for the girls to just give them a little push in this whole dating thing of, you don't have to be stuck on these dating apps. If the dating apps work for you, that's great. But if they don't, you could, just spark a conversation. They were really meant for the girlies, and I am sad to report, it literally reached, I think the percentage, like the analytics were like 96% of men. So that defeated the purpose.
I feel like a guy that goes down for his own pleasure is so rare these days. It is like a unicorn. And when you find one, you hang on to them for dear life. You put a ring on it. Put a ring on that man. If he is doing it for his own pleasure and he loves that you love it, never let him go. Don't even let him out of your side. Us girls we can sense that. We'll jump on that straight away.
I always used to think that us women had it worse in the dating game until last night I was talking to a male friend, and he was saying something, and it just put a different perspective on their side of dating, like men. So he was basically saying, like, a lot of these women, unfortunately, right, they want this lifestyle and they want you to spend a lot of money on them before they allow you to get to know them. So they want expensive dinners, they want trips, they want pay for this, pay for that. And he was like, I don't know you. He was like, this is the example he gave. He's like, I meet a girl, I'm trying to get to know her. She wants me to take her out at this expensive restaurant. That's $300. I meet another girl. She wants me to take her out. That's another $200, $300. He's like, I can't even date multiple people without going freaking broke. He's like, it's 200 here, 300 here, 300 here. And I'm like, well, maybe you shouldn't date those type of girls. And he's like, basically, all of these women now are these type of girls. They want you to spend money on them.
I'm glad somebody's finally realizing it, and I thank you for recognizing and taking accountability, at least in part, for the things that men have to go through out here.
All right, I have to say this because I've heard it too many times and does my absolute head in. If you message a man or woman, but I'm going to say man, if you message a man, pretty much asking what their intentions are and saying, are you looking for something casual or are you looking for something more serious? And they say one of two things. I'm going with the flow, or let's just see how this goes. He's shopping. He's shopping. And you, my love, are on the clearance rack. He should date within his budget. And what I mean is, my point after this being, if you're going to date someone, if you're going to talk to a woman or talk to a man, set your intentions straight away. Let them know, I'm not looking for anything serious. I just want to date casually. Okay, sure. Then it's up to you whether you stay or leave. If a man says, I'm actually looking for something really serious and you're not, bye. Nice to meet you, but bye. Doesn't hurt so much when you ask straight away, when you get it out of the way straight away. Doesn't hurt, doesn't feel like you've lost anything. But when you've been talking and you're like, I don't even know what this guy and I are doing and blah, blah, blah. And then you go and ask, his response, if it ain't the one you want, is going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you. So get it out of the way early. And if he says those things like, I'm just going with the flow. Well, I don't go with the flow. I need to know where this is going. What's your intention? What's your end game? You know what I mean? Everybody knows their end game. Yes, they do. They might not know what they want right this second, then he shouldn't date. But every man and every woman knows that, yeah, I'd love to get married and have a family. Yeah. And that's what I'm looking for, because I'm in my mid-30s. Or, no, I just came out of a relationship. I really should be single and just have a bit of fun. Be honest. There is nothing wrong with having fun. And there is nothing wrong with wanting something serious. What is wrong is lying about it. Or using those one-liners to make yourself to still have arm's reach of the girl or guy and keep them around without any pure intention. That's the fault in that. Be smart out there, people.
I guess I'm kind of confused on one of the things that you said when you said, well, he told me he was just kind of wanting to see how things go, that sort of thing. Wouldn't that kind of be the same thing as, well, we didn't vibe. He didn't catch the vibe. He didn't read the room and he really didn't vibe with me. Isn't that the way that, oh, we're just vibing and it was vibe until it wasn't. We hear about the vibe and the great time and we just let it flow and it was a slow burn relationship and all of these other things that modern women can say about what a relationship is and what it should be and how it's fitting into what they want, what they like, with no regard for what the man would want and what he would like. No regard for what his idea of romance is, what he's looking for. So when a man says, I really just want to see where this goes, I want to see how it goes, that could have meant, well, I've gotten my hopes up before. And so, I really like you. And last time I said I like somebody, then they completely ghosted me. They completely did me wrong. I took them out on a $300-$400 date or even spent $100. Let's say a man spent, let's say $75 on a date, right? Oh, that ain't nothing. If you coming out here to date, then you should be ready for that. No, $70. I just spent $70 to do nothing. When, mind you, I could have gone to the movies for like $20 and I could have gotten food for myself and my whole evening by myself would have been $40. I would have spent 2 to 3 hours by myself having a good time. And I could have even gotten something to eat on the way home and it would have still been cheaper. I could have had a very relaxing, good night and would have been inexpensive. But going out with you, spending $70-$80 and then you don't even text me back. You didn't even talk to me. I don't have time for that. And so he's saying, well, maybe that was the case last time. So I'm just, before I get my hopes up, I just want to see how it goes. But of course, for modern women, if they don't comprehend or hear something the way they want to hear it, then it's a problem.
What's your age?
32.
Are you single?
I'm supposed to ask a woman her age?
What makes you say that?
But I don't know. It's the rules.
Are you single?
I am.
Why do you think you're single at 32?
Honestly, because I am independent and I do take care of myself. So I separate myself from others in the fact of that, you have to be respectful and you have to come with a different level of energy and maturity. And to be honest, especially in this city, these men are not mature.
So what problems are you running into with the men that you date in Charlotte?
Honestly, I don't really date a whole lot of men in Charlotte, to be honest. I'm really, I like cities, but I don't really like city boys. So there's a problem there because most of these boys are city boys. I need more like a country man or something.
So do you think that most men are going for an independent woman like yourself, or do they want a dependent woman?
I think they want a traditional woman. I think they want somebody that's going to really love them up and help them through the hard times and cook and clean and do all those things.
But being that you've come this far on your own, do you think that makes you easier to date or harder?
Harder to date.
Why so?
Because I do all those things, but I also kind of take the man role as well. I have 5 older brothers, so I was just raised in the environment of when a man comes into your life, they got to be ready and willing to do all the things a man does. And I just feel like for me, I don't really deal with a lot of bullshit. So it's just one of those things where you have to bring, a different type of energy to the relationship.
Pass. Hard pass.
Are people okay? When did being single become a disease? I'm so confused. Quick little rant. Yesterday I went to one of my friends' little outings and all of the girls there, there's about 8 of them that are married and one of them had a kid or whatever. The entire time, I'm not shitting you, the only thing that was discussed between the women were their husbands, their married life, their in-law. And I'm just sitting there and I'm I'm single, obviously, just to put that out there. And there's nothing wrong with being married, but like, is that like what your whole personality becomes? And it's just so strange. It's like they were pitying me and they're like, oh, it'll happen for you. And I'm like, girl, it could happen for me if I wanted it to. Like, I'm not sitting here crying about it. Like, I'm actively choosing not to get married because every married person I know is not happy, or like, that's just not the life I want for myself right now. Like, why is that the end all goal? Like, are men just sitting around talking about their wives the entire time? And like, it's just so strange. And the pity is the thing that I hate the most, because it's like no one's asking for it. Like, even one of their husbands looked at me and they're like, oh, how old are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm almost turning 30, whatever. And he's like, oh, that's fine, you have a couple of years. And I'm like, what's gonna happen in a couple of years? Like, am I gonna just like, is there gonna be something on my forehead that says expired? Or like, what does that even mean? Like, what a strange thing to say. Like, we need to normalize people being single and not looking at it like a bad thing. It's just the wildest thing to me. Like, I don't understand it.
I think you might be looking into it too deeply. Maybe calm down. Maybe nobody's having sympathy or pity on you. Maybe you just have a bad attitude. Maybe there's somebody out there for you. Whoever it is, whatever it is, maybe relax.
You are single and in your 30s, this message is for you. I am almost 44 years old, engaged to a wonderful man, and I was single from my early to late 30s. Last week, I posted a video stating, what will my almost 44-year-old self, engaged, tell my single 34-year-old self? And the video took off. Thousands and thousands of comments. I was humbled, I was overwhelmed, but I was also not surprised. Most of the messages were from folks in their 30s who are single, who felt seen. They felt heard. I got a lot of thank yous in that video, and a comment that kept surfacing, which was, please keep sharing because there is not enough information about dating and relationships for people in their 30s. And that got me thinking, and yes, I agree. The way society is set up, in your 20s is when you are quote unquote supposed to be doing things like dating, courting, getting in committed relationships, getting married, and having children late 20s, early 30s. If you're single in your mid to late 30s, society doesn't know what to do with you, especially if you are a woman. Because it's like, what is wrong with her? What is wrong with them? That is a question that people frankly asked me a lot when I was single. What is wrong with you? You're beautiful, you're smart, you're funny. Something has to be wrong because you're single. It was never like, well, she has high standards. You know, she hasn't found someone that she resonates with. Maybe she's tying up loose ends and making sure her stuff is in order. Her life, her body, her spirit is in order before she aligns with a man. So I'm here, some of you have called me your resident auntie, your resident tia, to really share experiences that I wish someone shared with me when I was dating, single in New York City, sometimes desperate, scared, worried that my time had passed. I would let society's shit like creep into my ear and my psyche and lead me to feel insecure. You are not broken. Nothing is wrong with you. We also have to look at this on a macro scale. Dating these days is an Olympic sport, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, in my opinion, if you do the work of mainly minding your business and going within.
Once again, I think you might be overthinking it a little bit. If somebody looks at you and they're like, man, she's beautiful and she's got it all going for her. Modern women ask this question all the time. My friends are this, my friends are that. They have this, they have that. They look like this, they look like that. They wear this, they wear that. They have this. They have a house, they have a dog, they have a cat. Why are they not married? Why are men not coming up to them? It might just be, when I look at you, what am I missing? Like, why is nobody interested in her? Maybe they don't think less of you. Maybe they don't think anything negative of you at all. Maybe they feel like you are such a great woman that somebody would want to come and scoop you up. That's all they're saying. That's what most modern women get themselves into trouble doing, overthinking things. When people just be simply asking a question. Take, for instance, what do you bring to the table? If you If you were a real man, then you would know. I don't know you. I just asked a question. What is it? I've spent the last 20 minutes explaining my value, and you nodded and you said, oh yeah, I'm feeling all that. You even say it in your videos. Oh yeah, he told me about this and he said all this and I was vibing with all of it. And then that's when it all went downhill. Cause he turned to me and asked me, okay, now your turn. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What is it that you're looking for in a relationship? What is it that you would bring? You can contribute to a relationship. Well, you know, I'm gonna answer your question, but it's just something about the way you just said it. I don't know. I'm trying to move past it, but okay, fine. So I'm looking for a stable man, a man of God. I'm looking for a man that is generous and he just completes me, you know. He just can get a vibe. You know what? I gotta go back to what you just said about asking me about what I bring to the table. No, you don't. Just answer the question. At that point, you'd be upset if the man got up and walked out of there because you're acting silly. You guys, anyways, respect to you. I'm happy for your relationship.
It does absolutely baffle me that people still think the absolute worst thing that can happen to you is for you to stay single and perhaps be single for the rest of your life. It is absolute madness to me, and that's how people end up in really shitty and stay in these really shitty relationships, because you're so fucking scared of staying in your own company that you can't fathom that you could still have a happy, fulfilling life. It is absolutely crazy to me. It really is. Do I want to be in a relationship? Of course I do. Of course I do. Am I open to the right connection? Yes. Am I possibly chatting to somebody now? Mind your business. But the point is, regardless of whether or not potential connections work out, I'm gonna be absolutely fine. And I think everybody should get to that place. Everybody should feel so comfortable in their own company that having a relationship and being with someone else is an addition, not the whole fucking thing. Yeah, so that's my rant. Have a good one.
I really do think that for modern women, once they realize that it's not all about them, then the world would be a better place.
If you're my boyfriend, you have absolute free reign, free will to do whatever you want. Have a ball. Go do it all. Do whatever you want. Just remember that if you make the wrong decision, I'm out. No hissy fit, no argument about it. I'm getting my stuff and I'm gone. You know what's right from wrong. Just remember, if it's easy to cheat on me, it's easy for me to leave.
You all are not going to like it, but someone has to say it. A lot of women are not insecure. They're inconsiderate and mean. They're not traumatized. They're inconsiderate and mean and selfish. A lot of times that women act a certain way, it's not because, oh, I've been through this, or someone put me through this, or I've experienced that. A lot of times it's simply because they're inconsiderate and selfish and mean and self-centered and self-serving, and it translates into insecurity because that's probably the easiest way to play it off. It translates into trauma because that's probably the easiest way to play it off. But that's not what it is. Some of you are just mean and nasty and rude and selfish.
This is why we lost. Part 2.
Trust black women, they lead the way. Trust black women, they lead the way. White women, stop abandoning your sisters. Trust black women, they lead the way. Oh, we're mad as hell.
And the only reason I support a Black child when it comes to it being male is because when I look at the Black community and the problems in it, it's associated with males and male pathology. When you talk about violence, it's associated with the males. When you talk about the, women being forced upon, it's the males. When you talk about drugs, it's the males. When you talk about the fatherless children, it's the males. Every single problem that is happening in the Black community, you point to the males and then you have the culprit. So for me, I think that not selectively breeding is very irresponsible when you are the only one who has control over who gets to Earth.
Who even needs white supremacy anymore? Who needs mass incarceration when you have Black women to do the devil's work from the inside? Y'all want to scream about, but nobody wants to talk about the real issues. No marriages, no fathers in the home, no respect for God's commandments. If we actually followed no sex before marriage, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. You want to talk about violence? Let's talk about it. Because the number one killer in our communities, it ain't drugs, it ain't even police brutality. The number one killer is, and nobody has more Black babies than the Black woman. A Black child is more likely to be than to be by the police, by another Black man, or even sent to prison. You want to talk about violence? You want to talk about drugs? You want to blame everything on the Black man? Cool. But let's be real. 80% of the children is coming up in a single parent household. So you tell me, who's bringing them up? Who's setting these values? Who's teaching them? Because a child learns from the mother before it ever learns from a teacher. So you tell me, who's instilling these broken values into these children? The biggest threat to the Black community, it ain't always the police. It ain't always the government. It ain't always white supremacy. It's the Black women raising up the next generation with no accountability.
Do single men actually go to church on their own, by themselves? Because people tell me all the time, you should go find a good, godly man at church. Do you know how hard that is to find? I just went to church this morning, and it's a pretty good sized church. And I just decided for science to look around and just see, is there any single men by themselves? Because I never, no matter what church I go to, no matter what denomination, I almost never see single men by themselves going to church. I looked around, I counted like 15 to 20 women who looked like they were by themselves. Or there was a couple other women who looked like it was just them and one other woman. If I counted them, it was like 25 women. I saw one man who was there by himself. But that one man actually gave me hope for a few minutes. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Again, not because I wanted to like meet him or talk to him, but because I was like, hey, some men do go to church like on their own. It wasn't 2 minutes later after I noticed that a woman came up and sat next to him and held his hand. I was like, just kidding. I looked around on the stage. There was multiple men up there on stage. Between the pastors and the singers, every one of them had a ring on. So you tell me, there was tons and tons of single women there. Although I don't really know their relationship status, there was tons of women there on their own. Not a single man that I could find anywhere in the audience that was by himself. Not one. Do single men go to church? I don't understand it. Help me understand.
Trust me, they're there. It's probably Jimmy that you didn't recognize, that you see as a friend. Trust me, they're there.
You really cannot humble me. Like, I'm pretty and I know I'm pretty. This isn't like I have to guess or maybe. No, it's like a fact. It's like a known thing.
Hey, did I get your number? Oh, it's fine. You got a flat ass anyways.
Rage bait. And the women in the comments believed it.
You always know your dating life is like not going well when you're a tall girl and you're like, I think I'll give the short guy a chance. You're like, I think I'll give the 5'8" guy a chance, even though I'm 5'7". And so you'll go on a date with them. And you're like, this isn't bad. But you're like sitting, eye level with them. And you're like, oh, he's like really cute, really nice. They always end up being really nice. And then you get up from your seats and you go like watch your car and you're like, oh my God, I forgot you're my height. This is why I don't get why the girls who are like, I don't know, 5'4", 5'3", why are you guys taking all the tall men? Leave it to the...
Maybe those women weren't shallow and the tall men said, ooh, I like her. She has a little bit more to her. She actually uses her brain. I like her.
Hey, babe.
What?
Do you want
Maybe.
right now?
Right now?
Right now.
I'm currently not in the mood right now.
Do I suck it too much?
So I've said this once and I'll say it again. If you want to prevent your man from cheating, there's 5 simple things that you need to do to keep him happy. It's really not difficult. So let's stop complaining about our man cheating on us when, number 1, put out. Do the deed. I don't care if you're his wife or his girlfriend. There's too many women nowadays that don't give their men the cookie. And I'm not even talking about every day. Like, we can be reasonable here, but at least 5 days a week. But if you don't want him to go look for it elsewhere, you should probably give it to him yourself. That's number 1. Number 2, cook a meal. I know it's crazy nowadays. Women don't want to cook anymore. They don't want to be the trad wife. At the end of the day, if you want to keep your man happy, make him a meal. Number 3, clean the house. Clean the house. When your man gets home, he does not want to come home to a messy house. If you don't live with him, go to his house and clean his house. I said it. I know. I said it. Number 4, be respectful. The second you are disrespectful to your man, or you don't treat him with respect, you've lost him. You've lost him. You could be the hottest, coolest chick in the world. You show him disrespect and in public, done. Likely that guy is gone and in someone else's pants. Stat. And number 5, give him some peace and quiet. Give him peace and quiet. He doesn't want to hear you nag. He doesn't want to hear you complain. Figure out a better way to communicate so you guys are both getting your needs met. It's really simple. If you don't agree, let me know in the comments. Men, do you agree? Would love to hear your opinion on this, but I don't know why this is such a challenge. Like, let's get back to being in a relationship. Novel concept.
This comment here says, she's gold. If only all women would listen and follow her advice. You're new here. This woman says a bunch of nonsense. A bunch of nonsense.
Men respond to a woman's clarity. Men do not want to figure you out. They don't want to play games and read between the lines to figure out how to make you happy or how to meet you. And women have been taught to play this game to test men to see how far they will go in order to try to figure out what she wants. But when a woman comes to a man with clarity and competence, he can respond to that with his own clarity and competence. If you're a woman and you're coming to your man confused because you don't even know what your needs are and you don't know what you want and you don't even know how to hold your desires, it's going to be equally as challenging for him to figure out how to hold those things for you. Powerful women have no issue with being incredibly crystal clear with what they want. And the truth is that men find this kind of clarity incredibly sexy because their minds are looking for, can I do this? Can I complete this? Yes or no? If you're a woman that wants to get deeply met in your relationships or dating, get clear about what you want and then clearly bring that into the container with a man.
So I just got home from a date where, I mean, it went okay. It was whatever. But he bought my dinner, he walked me to my car, and we're standing there. And I said, thank you so much for dinner. And he said, yeah, I wasn't sure how that was going to go. It was all in one check, so I just paid. And I was like, well, were you wanting me to pay for my half? And he's like, yeah, that'd be great, actually. And sent me his Cash App as we stood there. And then asked if I would like to go out again tomorrow. Absolutely not, sir. Is this what I have to look forward to?
If the first thing that you do is shame him on the internet, then yeah, he did the right thing. He did the right thing. There would have been something in the relationship that he thought was fair that you wouldn't have, and you would have found a way to shame him about that. And then because you wanted validation, you would have hopped on the internet and spread your business. Modern women logic.
I'm on lunch and sometimes it's just so hard. Like, I want to be so strong. So freaking strong. And look, I know he is taking her out to eat. He is taking her and her family out to eat. I mean, I know it's a small area here. People see things. People tell me things. But she's also like in the TikTok world, and seeing her post videos of places that they go eat together is hard. That is hard. And it just makes you want to throw up. It makes you so mad, but also just sick to your stomach. Like, how dare you, you know? And also, do you know how hard it is for me to not comment and say, I'm so glad you're having fun with my husband? Like, I want to so bad, but I can't. I can't. I'm not that kind of person. I wish I was, but I'm not.
But y'all are not together anymore, though. That's not your husband. Why are you being a hater right now?
I just saw a video of a woman saying that women make up the concept of a mental load in order to manipulate their husbands and eventually ask for a divorce, which is such a crazy idea to me because the mental load is 100% a real thing. And just from a very unique perspective, so that I don't sound like every other woman on this app, I was the stay-at-home parent with large mental load. I had a really great career opportunity pop up. We decided my husband would be the stay-at-home parent. So now he is the one with the large mental load. So now the both of us have had experience in what it's like to be the stay-at-home parent with the ridiculous mental load, keeping track of naps and food and diapers and doctor's appointments and all of those salient details. Most partners, most marriages don't have that flip-flop. So a lot of men just simply do not understand what the mental load actually is and feels like. And I think we're just missing that connect, that compassion, that understanding. It's 100% real.
So I like this comment here. The guy says, I've been both, and the mental load isn't that much. Women tend to overthink and put a lot of anxiety on minor things, which in turn causes a lot of stress. Men tend to just handle things with way less stress and anxiety, and just in general, they get things done. It's not a slight, they just cut out a lot of the nonsense.
Have you seen this trend of women who are talking about having their fiancés, in these cases mainly men, sign a prenuptial agreement where if the marriage does not work out, the man will take full responsibility for custody of the children and the women will pay child support based solely on the actual expenses? Unfortunately, there are a lot of people, their co-parent is off doing whatever, while they take care of the heavy lifting with the children. And at the same time, they are heavily scrutinized for asking for child support or accused of misappropriating that child support. Women are being villainized. How dare you be willing to give up your kids? I wouldn't want to marry someone who'd be willing to do that. Okay, well, that's like the whole point, isn't it? That's the whole point. What do you think?
So a woman in the comments said the problem is that a lot of men aren't safe. You already know she's lying. You find out after marriage. It's more men than you think. Now this unsafe man has custody of a vulnerable little human. As a general rule, a man's interaction with a child should be supervised. Women who sign before they are married don't consider that the man they are about to marry might hurt them or their kids. A guy came in and said statistically, children are better off with single fathers than single mothers. She, the creator, comes in the comments and says, cite your source. He cites his source and she didn't want to accept it. Girl, delete this video.
I realized my problem. So I like the guys that are like, this has always been my type. And I was thinking about it. And I like the guys that are like insecure in a sense. And they like have friends, but they don't have a lot of friends. And like their friends are like fucked up. Like they don't have the best friends. And they don't have the best upbringing because I have a good upbringing, but like I have a lot of like shit, you know? So I'm like, I gravitate towards people like that because I feel like they have more character development in my head. And I like the guys that have a low social media following. That like barely follow anyone. But those are the ones that are like crazy based on my realization. Because the reason they don't follow anyone is because they're insecure and they're upset about I don't know. But that's always been my type. Like I've talked to guys that like follow a lot of people. They're like first of all, I don't like when guys take pictures. Like I don't want you to be posting on social media. Like I want you to have a job, make your money, don't post. No one knows who you are. But I've talked to the guys that are like outgoing, have a lot of friends, are normal, but I don't like them. To me, they don't have much character development. So I guess this is why I keep getting fucked over. I don't know. Also, you guys are gonna call me crazy, but I ordered a little sticker that like sticks onto your car and like you customize the text. And the text says, I love trucks. I originally had I love men with trucks, but I was like, nah, let me take that off. So it says, I love trucks. So I'm going to like stick it to my back window of my car. Anyways, I'm making shrimp bowls. So, okay, bye.
This cannot be an original experience for any girl in the gym, but sometimes I will go up to guys that are using the machine I need and I will ask like, oh, how many sets do you have left? They're like, 1. They do their set really quick, wipe it down, and then go on to the next thing. But I will see them later on go back to that machine and do more sets. So they got off that machine just so I could have it. And I'm not asking in a way of like, how many sets do you have left? Like, it's just like, how many sets do you have left? Whatever. Like a normal gym interaction, but people will give up their machines so I can use it. That just mind boggles me, but I think that's part of just being a girl in the gym.
So I was at my situationships apartment this morning. Let's call him Mr. Avoidant. So he was brushing his teeth. Okay, cool. But I was like, can I have a t-shirt? And he was like, you're sleeping over? And I was like, well, I always sleep over, so... Then he goes, well, I have a date in the morning, so... At this point, I'm livid, and I just walk away, because I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with this. And then I try to think of a way to get him back for, you know... Then I remembered that I literally made him a birth chart so I could predict his emotional state. So I pull that up, and sure enough, I see that his biggest weakness is commitment. So I start to think, and I walk back into the room, right? He says to me, so, like, are you going to be upset that I'm getting ready for my date while you're still in the room and, like, here? I go, well, what time is your date? And he was like, 11. And I was like, well, I have a Pilates class in your neighborhood at, like, 9, so it's whatever. And then I proceeded to tell him that that was literally the main reason I came over tonight. Then he says, are you upset with me? And I was like, why would I be upset with you? No, I'm literally not. What? After I said no, he was like, but you seem upset. I literally responded with, I'm not upset, and even if I was upset, why do you care we're not dating? Like, I don't care if you go on dates. Why would I be upset over that? Then he was like, why are you acting like this? And I was like, acting like what? And he was like, acting so nonchalant. I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, genuinely, what do you want me to do? Cry? Like, literally, do you want me to just start crying because you have a date tomorrow? Like, I promise I don't care. Like, genuinely, what do you want me to do about that?
Somebody in the comments said he's still cracked, so who cares? I couldn't agree more.
Okay, am I being punked or something? Because why do traditional Christian men keep trying to pursue me? Like, what part of me gives God-fearing traditional woman? I don't want nothing you gotta offer, baby. I'll tell you right now, I'm finna piss your ass off. Turn around, walk away.
Is that a cross on your neck right there? Interesting. I mean, crosses might be a symbol of a Christian. Number one. Number two, you don't really have anything here that's going to like really throw them off. Looks like you're just wearing a white t-shirt and black pants. Get a grip. Just say no thank you. And this is what she looks like without makeup. With the same cross. Maybe that's not a cross. It looks like a cross from here. Maybe that's a sword or something like that. From afar, a man is not going to know that that's not a cross. He's going to think it's just that. Is the man even paying attention? He's not even overthinking it. Actually, you're overthinking it. The man just came over to say hello. Stop being weird.
I fear one of the worst things I've done is prove to my husband that I can work and like successfully at that. And I keep seeing all these videos of like, hey babe, can't pay the mortgage this month. And every man is like, what mortgage? Like, you don't pay that. Do you even know what that is? Like, you have never paid it, or you haven't paid it in years. And like, where'd you get one of those? Where'd you find that one? Because I wanted to make that video, but my husband would laugh in my face, and I couldn't post it because that would be embarrassing.